down.
Welcome to Sky Park Bike Park, where today we are going to be having a little bit of fun with our Dissected series. Instead of just showing you guys one bike, today we brought two Marin Alpine Trails out, and we're going to do a little bit of a contest, if you want to call it that. We're going to do the Power Hour Challenge. We figured what better way to show off these two new bikes than to put them up against each other in 1 hour race with me riding them as fast and far as I can. So let's introduce you to the contestants and let you know a little bit about how we're gonna be riding them today. So first up, we've got the Marin Alpine Trail XR. This bike retails for $3,829 and comes with a pretty competent spec for that price. In the other corner, we've got the Marin Alpine Trail E2. This bike had a very strong showing in our 2021 e-bike shootout, which we'll link down below. And if you missed that, it is a bike our crew absolutely loved. This bike retails for $6,299. Also has 160 mil up front with a 150 rear end. Both bikes share a lot of similarities. They have the multi-track suspension, 150 mil rear travel, very similar drivetrain spec with XT derailleurs, SLX shifters. And from there you start to get into a few little differences in the spec. The Alpine Trail XR has more of an entry-level Shimano BRMT 420 brake. It is a 4-piston design, however not quite as powerful as the Shimano SLX. So the Marin Alpine Trail E2 has a Fox 38 Performance Elite fork and a DHX2 rear shock. The Alpine Trail XR has a RockShox Lyric Ultimate 160 fork with a RockShox Super Deluxe Coil Ultimate rear shock. Obviously, one bike has a motor in the form of a Shimano Steps EP8 system with a 630 battery. This one here is going to rely on this for all of its power, and I got a feeling that's going to be a significant disadvantage today, but we'll still have fun. As you can see, there's a lot of similarities, more than I'd say there are differences in these two bikes. Basically what we're gonna do is gonna have the 1 hour power challenge, and I'm gonna have a similar course, or I should say identical course for both bikes. And we are going to document the amount of laps I get, elevation gained, average speed, max speed, and generally how much fun I have on both bikes. So in order to stay as fresh and give myself the best chance possible, I'm gonna be starting out with the XR. I'm gonna do 1 lap as a warm-up, then I'm gonna head over to Comet, which is my favorite enduro kind of backwoods, backcountry loop. Then after that, I'm gonna finish up by hitting Neverland, which is the jump line, and I'm going to just pound out laps on Neverland until my hour is up. I'm excited to find out how these bikes do on the trail head-to-head, and let you see them both in action. So let's gear up and go hit the trails. All right, guys, we are here at the entryway. I got 1 hour, put as many laps as I can in here on the Alpine Trail XR. So time to hit go. Let's see what I can do. Alrighty, start my first lap. I'm going to avoid any fun lines to conserve my energy and maximize the amount of trails I can hit. So that instantly takes a fun point away, because on an e-bike, I would hit it because I wouldn't really care. Oh boy! 5 minutes on the dot. 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh boy. Get a breather. All right. I took 40 seconds. Dropping into lower arrow. See how that goes. Oh boy. No. Whew. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Whew. Well, I will say, popping over that thing is definitely going to be easier on this bike than the e-bike. Well, that was my warm-up. 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay, time to start climbing for the next one. Oh yeah! I was just looking at that uphill, not looking forward to that one. All right, pulling up to the top, 18 minutes and 25 seconds. Definitely gonna take a moment here. 1926, 27, 30, here we go. All right, hey, have a good one, guys. All right, so I'm dropping into my second lap. This thing feels fun. Light and playful and poppy. Phew. We'll take this line up here, see what we can get into, get a little bit of fun. This is not the fast line. I just realized I made an error. So I'm gonna have to take that line on the e-bike. $25.40 crossing the bridge. All right, so when you come back out of Comet, you have two options, and I'm going to admit one option I've only ever done on an e-bike, and that is to take this Bear Tracks upline, and you'll see why. Normally I go that way and pedal around to the village, but since this is 1000% the shortest, straightest, most direct route, I'm going to take it because I want to get as many laps in as I can in 1 hour. And I'm hoping that the effort and energy I use on this steep pitch at the end won't bite me later. But we'll find out. I started Bear Tracks at 29 minutes and 50 seconds. All right, still going up Bear Tracks. As of right now, my heart rate is at 151. I'm guessing that my speed is probably about 2 miles an hour. Whose idea was this? 37:30. Heart rate skyrocketed. All right, so I've been up here for 1.5 minutes. My heart rate has dropped from 178 down to 115. So I'm gonna be dropping in on my first lap on the jump line, which is Neverland. super playful, fun, light, poppy. All right, and I'm back to the bottom, 41.21, 48.45. That's gonna be my last lap. Oh my goodness. "54 minutes, 53 seconds. That's the hour. Pretty tired. All right, switched out bikes, had a few tacos over here at the pub, and gonna go blast out another bunch of laps on the power hour with the Alpine Trail E2. I got a feeling I'm gonna get 8. All right, so I'm walking up to our start point as we walk through the village, and my excitement level is double what it was on the pedal bike. The fact that I know I'll be able to get a whole lot more laps in and I'll be going a whole lot faster just has me more excited, plain and simple. I'm excited to ride. Maybe it's the tacos I just ate, I don't know, but I'm pretty excited. It's prime time for climb time. I got 1 hour to bang out laps. I'm hoping I can get 8. We'll see how she goes. We're off. Two minutes and 8 seconds. Wow. Well, that was ridiculous. On that false flat where I was normally debating on catching my breath or trying to shift down and get momentum, I was going for like 16 miles an hour. 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Pretty sure I am going way faster on this bike. Four minutes and 29 seconds. Pretty positive I'm way faster. Yeah. Okay, if we remember correctly, this is our little gap. Still made it, but definitely not as poppy floaty. Picked up a little harder on that one. All right, so 6:08. All right, so I am making my way back up. It's not as light and effortless to pop up off of stuff and flick and snap around, but I'm almost 100% sure that I was way faster going down that trail. And here on this flat, I'm hitting 19 miles an hour right now. And instead of like maybe 12 at most. Heart rate's at 153. So my beats per minute are about 20 lower, but they're consistent. I'm not spiking. So I'm back at the top for lap 2 at 10 minutes and 20 seconds. 10:45, I'm dropping in.
So that's
wow. I have to remember to take the whack line over here because I did it on the pedal bike. We're dropping into the fun little drop into a step up. Super fun bit. Come out here high, drop, no brake. Woo! You guys remember bear tracks? 17:15. $18.50, 170 beats per minute, 8 miles an hour. Took a little break to wipe off my glasses. 21 minutes and 57 seconds. We're out of here. Definitely a little bit more, little more energy to move this thing in the air. All right. Whew. Good Lord, that went deep. All right, yeah, so on that flatter stuff there, takes more energy for sure. More energy to get over those 23:52. Head back up, get some more. Oh! I am cresting the top of lap number 6 at 43 minutes and 45 seconds. Heart rate's at 160. I feel good though, so I'm not gonna stop. Getting very tired. Very tired. Lap 6 in the bag. 48 minutes and 50 seconds. For another. Less energy for style. 56 minutes, dropping in. Oh, God. 58 minutes. 58 minutes. 8 laps. So tired. So tired. Well, folks, that is it. We have had a blast here today at Sky Park. 2 solid hours of riding, back to back, the XR and the E2. Wow. Well, I have trouble just saying it because I know what you're already thinking, but for me, the E2 is the clear winner. The amount of fun that I had, okay, on this bike was 2, maybe 3 times as much. Granted, I mean, this is Sky Park. It's not the type of terrain everybody is riding, but even on the jump trail, the amount of speed I had, the traction in corners, the stability, it was awesome. And I was absolutely hauling ass on this bike. This thing is a good bike. It's absolutely a solid ride. And if these didn't exist, I would love this thing. I still do. It's a great bike, but just the fact that I can get into these numbers that I'm about to share with you on this and do everything that I did on that bike, it's kind of hard to not. So the XR 5546 was my ride time, 5.6 miles. My total elevation gain was 1,030 feet. Average speed was 6 miles an hour. My calories burned was 548. My average heart rate was 140. My max heart rate was 185. E2, my ride time was 58 minutes and 30 seconds, 10.39 miles, 1,889 total feet climbed. Average speed was 10.6 with a maximum speed of 32.9. I burned 575 calories. My average heart rate was 135. My max heart rate was 181. There you have it. I mean, the numbers, the amount of calories I burned was more. My average heart rate, max heart rate, within 5 beats per minute. The amount of elevation, jumps, berms, downhills, way more. I got 4 runs in on this bike. I was shooting for 5, but I was able to get 4 knocked out. I was pinned all the way to the clock stopped, and I was able to get 8 runs in on the E2, which is double the amount of riding that I was able to get on the XR. And I was pretty close to my goal, a little bit short on the XR, but nailed it on the E2. You know, and our crew, we've been feeling the fun and the effects of smiling on an e-bike and how much more smiles per mile we can get. And today we actually kind of put the numbers to it. We ran the charts, we compared numbers, and for us, we're gonna stick with the e-bikes. Granted, there'll be time and place for these things. We absolutely still love pedal bikes, but God, it's just tough. If you got 1 hour to go out and ride after work, you're just gonna get way more bang for your buck on this thing. Granted, this bike does cost almost double this bike, so there is something to be said for that, and I know we need to address that. Getting into the ride characteristics and part spec, etc., these brakes are a real kind of a weak point on this bike. They don't bite. I don't love the levers. other than that, this thing's pretty solid all around. Definitely a pretty good build, very competent, capable. I would like a little bit longer dropper post on this thing. I also felt like, I know the chainstays aren't super short, but it felt like I had a little bit of a hard time getting that back end to snap into corners. Maybe it's this Assegai rear tire just having so much traction, but I felt like it was out behind me a little ways, and maybe the traction of the tire combined with these brakes not having a lot of power just couldn't give me that quick little snap to put that tire sideways into some corners. This bike, as I said, we have reviewed this thing in depth. It was in our e-bike shootout, one of our top picks. We swapped the brake pad compound on these to make them hold up to our riding. Rear shock spec on this one, we'd like a better shock that has a little more adjustability, but both bikes are 100% rideable as is at pretty competitive prices to what else is out on the market. So props to Marin for making two really cool bikes that are a lot of fun to ride. So as far as the bikes go, awesome, a lot of fun. In terms of what we want to ride, if we got an hour to go out and shred, this is it all day, every day, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Sky Park for hosting us today. It was a great spot to put these bikes up back to back with exact same loops and a pretty controlled environment. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you out on the trails.